Bettors here with 32 NFL season previews in 32 days. We're on day number 13, and we're going to shift to the last division in the AFC, the West Division, and we're going to start with the Kansas City Chiefs. Before we get into their season preview, guys, as always, make sure you go and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our team previews and all of our season-long NFL free picks. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button because we are 1 month away from the NFL season beginning. Oh, it's a good time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year. Preseason started. NFL's coming up. NCAA football's right around the corner too. But before we get again to the Chiefs, let's take a look at what we're doing here at Grandstand Bettors. For you, our subscriber, we're giving you $1,000. That's right. One of our subscriber is going to win $1,000 this NFL season. All you have to do to sign up for our NFL contest is go over to grandstandbettors.com. It's a free contest. The link is in the description below. Head on over to grandstandbettors.com. Get signed up, and who knows, maybe you'll be taking home $1,000 this year. While you're over there, become part of our family and start letting us do the work while you do the winning. But hey, without further ado, let's dive in to the Kansas City Chiefs season preview. And to do so, we need to take just a quick look at the 2020 season. The Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl again for the second straight season, but this time they did not leave with the Lombardi Trophy. So after a 14-2 season and beating the Browns and Bills to get to the Super Bowl, the Chiefs were trounced by the Buccaneers 31-9, which really exposed their one weakness last season, and that was their defense and offensive line. To be honest, we took the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and it didn't work out for us. I wish that would have been different, but they did have some weaknesses here. They ranked 20th in rush defense and 14th in pass defense while giving up 22 points a game last year. As we saw in February, with a mediocre production from their defense, it's hard to win championships, especially back-to-back ones. Now, the Chiefs have really been doing well, obviously because of Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill. So, on average, outscoring their opponents, they've been doing it by about a touchdown a game, and that's mostly due because of their offensive weapons. However, the small injuries that Mahomes has suffered recently due to his foot, knee, and head probably has raised some red flags in the Chiefs front office, especially after they signed him to a 10-year, $503 million contract. Can we just take a moment and appreciate how much money that is? We will never see that in our lives, and that is just unreal. 10 years, $503 million. Well, anyways, so fixing the offensive line to keep this guy healthy was definitely a higher priority this offseason, and that's exactly what they did in preparation for 2021. The Chiefs released Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, replaced them with free agent and former Patriot Joe Thuney, and traded to the traded for the Baltimore Ravens left tackle Orlando Brown. Those are some good pickups to help that offensive line. Now, they also drafted center Creed Humphrey in the second round of the draft from Oklahoma. Now, this guy should be a starter in week number 1, which is going to keep Mahomes protected and give him time to throw the ball downfield to Kelce and Tyreek Hill. That's a paramount thing that they need to keep that success of the offense going. Now, if the O-line is broken, as we saw in the Super Bowl, things don't go well. One other offseason move we wanted to highlight was the loss of Sammy Watkins to the Ravens real quick. Although Brian Pringle and McCole Hardin are still valuable threats down the field, don't get us wrong, in only 10 games played to Hardman's 16, Watkins almost tallied more yards receiving than him, showing the value that he has to the team, and actually it's who I think Mahomes would prefer to throw the ball to more. But he's gone, so he's going to have to rely on those new guys stepping up. It's going to be interesting to see who really steps forward as the primary second receiver in this unit behind Tyreek Hill. Now, we also wanted to quickly look at their running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. In only 13 games, man, this rookie, he was great. Due to a late season injury, that's really what kept him from putting up bigger numbers. But he still put up 1,000 scrimmage yards and 5 touchdowns in his rookie season. So we're excited to see what he's able to do in this season, which is going to be his second year. Boosting the offensive line will definitely help Edwards-Helaire out as well, considering he only really averaged 4.4 yards a carry. I mean, it's decent, just not great. The Chiefs' tackles really struggled at creating lanes for him, but he still managed to rush for 800 yards. So definitely be on the lookout for him as he continues his career in the NFL. Now, if you want to move over to their defense as we continue to get into their 2021 season, the Chiefs had 13 less sacks last season when compared to the amount they generated in 2019. I know injuries to Chris Jones, Frank Clark, and their backup Taco Charlton late in the season really played a role in this, but that also brings up concern of what kind of depth do the Chiefs have on their roster. The only major addition to their defensive line was picking up Jarran Reed from the Seahawks, which you're probably thinking, who is Jarran Reed? And in all honesty, we don't know either. If either of their starting edge rushers or defensive tackles get hurt again like last season, then they will be in trouble again, and we'll most likely see them struggle to put pressure on those opposing quarterbacks. Now at linebacker, the Chiefs got a major addition by drafting Nick Bolton out of Missouri in the second round, and he adds a lot of speed to their linebacker unit, and he's going to help them in coverage for sure. At safety, they retain Daniel Sorensen and still have their two-time All-Pro Tyrann Mathieu, so no changes there, and their cornerback core did not undergo any major changes either. On paper, the secondary is not bad at all. The stats they put up last season was probably affected by the lack of pass rush that their front seven was able to put up, and the quarterbacks had a lot of time to throw the ball, in all honesty, so considering how much they were in coverage, and they still did a good job in limiting teams to only 236 yards per game through the air, I think it's pretty impressive. Now, at full strength, we still don't know if the defense is as good as that it has been in past years. They had the likes of, Justin Houston, Dee Ford, Eric Berry, but they should be much improved this season. Now, let's dive into their schedule a little bit. The Chiefs do have the 11th hardest schedule of any team this season. And looking at their first 7 games, things do not start out easy. In Week 1, they take on our Browns as a home rematch of the 2020 divisional playoff game. Now, the last game that the Browns played and the fans watched was this game. So that bitter taste of defeat is still definitely going to be on their tongues. Now, in Week 2, they travel to Baltimore, another good team. It's going to be another great team to watch, or game to watch. And in Week 3, they play the Chargers, then move on to the Eagles. So they should probably be at least 3-1 in these first 4 games. In Week 5, though, they get the Bills, another team that's going to want to play them from knocking them out of the playoffs. And then the rest of the games before their bye week feature matchups against Washington, Tennessee, the Giants, Green Bay, Las Vegas, and Dallas. Really, through this stretch, we could see Green Bay, Tennessee, and Vegas giving them the best shot at a loss during that stretch. With Tennessee and Green Bay's offenses, we'd probably have them losing those 2 games, but at least beating Las Vegas, putting them maybe at 8-3 at their bye week. But then the rest of the schedule, with the exception of maybe Pittsburgh, is against teams that did make the playoffs or failed to surpass 8 wins last season. So we kind of see them winning out with the potential of dropping Week 17 maybe to the Broncos if they're resting their players for the playoffs, which is entirely plausible. Actually, I think it might be Week 18. Now there's 18 weeks, but they still might rest their players. Even with that loss late in the season schedule, I think that they're probably going to go 13-4, in all honesty. Now, the Chiefs over-under is at 12.5. It's the highest preseason win total, which makes sense given the team we're talking about here. But with a healthy defense and the way their offense is, we can't see them losing 5 games. I just don't think it's going to happen. Now, we think the Chiefs will squeak over and win at least 13, like we mentioned, maybe 13-4. But they're gonna be right there on the edge. They're gonna be a good team this year. They're gonna be ready to head into make a deep playoff run, bearing any injury to Mahomes. But that's really what we think the Chiefs are gonna do. 13-4. In the comments below, Chiefs fans, What do you think the Chiefs are going to do this season? Do you agree with us? 13-4? Does anybody out there think they're going to be less than 12 wins? 12 wins. I wish the number would get to 12 because I think a push right there may happen. Maybe 12-5 is more plausible. But I'm going to stick with 13-4, and that's the best bet here from Grandstand Bettors. That's it for this Chiefs season preview for 2021. Make sure, again, you hit that subscribe button and join us here at Grandstand Bettors for all our season previews as well as all of our NFL free picks. Join us tomorrow. We're going to look at the LA Chargers. But in the meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy that grandstand life, and we'll see you tomorrow.